Hey Browns fans! Coming in with the latest news just for you, Sunday will feature a matchup with confirmed absences. But before we dive into today's update, make sure to hit that like button so you don't miss any of the latest Browns news. Trust me, you won't want to miss this one. Now, let's talk about one Thornhill and his journey this season. Thornhill came into 2024 ready for a fresh start after a frustrating 2023 season where a nagging calf injury kept him in and out of the lineup. As a player who signed with us to a 3-year, $21 million contract after winning 2 Super Bowls with the Chiefs, expectations were high for him to bring serious leadership to our defense under Jim Schwartz's new system. But here's the twist. Juan's calf issues returned, this time hitting him in the season opener against Dallas. And yes, I know what you're thinking, not again. Thornhill had the same mindset when it happened. But this time, he took a smarter approach. Last year, he kept running, trying to push through the pain, only to end up missing more games. So what's different this year? He sat back, let the injury heal, and took the time to make sure he didn't keep repeating that cycle. He even mentioned how tough last year was, coming back one week and missing the next, unable to get into a rhythm. So this year, after his Week 1 injury, the Browns decided to put him on injured reserve immediately, giving him the time he needed to heal properly. Thornhill knew that if he rested and recovered, he could help us turn things around when he returned. And guess what? His plan is working. He's back in practice, feeling good, and ready to make an impact on Sunday. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. This injury isn't exactly like the one he had last season, it's in his other leg, and it's a different type of strain. Last year, it was a grade 2 soleus strain, but this time, it's a grade 2 gastrocnemius strain. The details may be different, but the frustration was real for Thornhill. He said he knew immediately something was wrong during the Cowboys game, but he soldiered on and finished the game. When he got the MRI results back, he was upset for a few days, but quickly changed his mindset, focusing on how he could still help the team in the film room while he recovered. Thornhill has been preparing for his return for weeks, testing his calf in practice, and he's feeling confident that it's time to get back on the field. He's listed as questionable for Sunday, but from the way he's talking, it sounds like he's ready to go. And let me tell you, Browns fans, having Thornhill back alongside Grant Delpit, who's cleared concussion protocol, and Rodney McLeod means we finally have our full team of safeties out there. This is the first time since Week 1 that our defense will have its full strength in the secondary. That's a big deal for us as we try to make something of this season. Now, I know the record doesn't look great. Being 1-5 isn't what anyone expected at this point. But Thornhill had something important to say about it during a team meeting. He reminded everyone that while it looks bad on paper, we're 1-1 in the AFC and still have 10 AFC games to go. This is a great opportunity to turn things around. The playoffs may seem like a long shot, but one isn't writing us off just yet. He's bringing the leadership we've been waiting for, reminding the guys that we still have a lot of football left and that the path to the playoffs is still there if we can start piling up wins. What do you think, Browns fans? Will Thornhill's return be the spark we need to turn this season around? Can our defense pull it together and help us make the playoffs? Let us know in the comments below. Now, Myles Garrett, one of the NFL's most feared defensive backs, has just set the record straight about his future with the Browns, and you're going to want to hear it. After the surprise trade of wide receiver Amari Cooper to the Buffalo Bills, some people were wondering if Garrett could be the next big name to leave Cleveland. But Myles was quick to put those rumors to rest, and honestly, it's what we all needed to hear right now. Garrett has made it clear he wants to finish his career right here in Cleveland. He's not thinking about leaving, no matter what his current record is. I want to play here for the rest of my career, Garrett said in an interview. I want to win here. I want to bring a championship here. That's the kind of attitude we need, especially with the season looking tough at 1-5. Now, let's talk about that 1-5 record. Yeah, it's tough. We're tied for the bottom of the AFC standings, and it doesn't look like we're going to pull off that miraculous midseason turnaround like we did last year. Deshaun Watson is still our starting QB, but let's be honest, the offense isn't clicking, just 15.8 points per game. That's the third lowest in the league. Some fans are even calling for backup Jameis Winston to step in, thinking he could do better, but it's hard to say. Watson's contract makes it hard to rebuild quickly, and unless something changes, we have until at least 2027. But here's the thing, Garrett isn't worrying about the long-term issues. He's focused on the now. He's focused on keeping his head down, taking it game by game, and encouraging his teammates to do the same. Even with the Amari Cooper trade, he remains positive. "We have to finish what we started," Garrett said. "Nobody should be worried about the Amari situation and how it affects them. We're still here. Everybody's still here." So, Browns fans, how are you feeling about Miles' loyalty to Cleveland? Do you think keeping him here long-term will be the key to getting us back on track? What about the QB situation? Can Deshaun Watson change that, or should the Browns consider giving Winston a shot? Another rumor that's been floating around is that our standout edge rusher Zadarius Smith could be on the move. With the November 5th NFL trade deadline fast approaching, and having just traded Amari Cooper, it seems like the Browns could be looking to move more pieces. And one name that keeps coming up is Smith. Now, you'd think all this trade speculation would affect one guy, but Smith seems pretty cool about it all. When asked about the possibility of being traded, he kept his cool, saying, "You know what, that's not my decision. That's all up there. I would rather you ask them and see what it would be." It seems like he's focused on the game and letting the front office take care of the rest. But here's where things get interesting, Browns fans. Two teams are eyeing Smith, the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. The Lions just suffered a big loss with defensive end Aiden Hutchinson leaving for the season, and they could really use a player like Smith. As for Green Bay, well, Smith spent 3 seasons there, so a reunion might make sense. Plus, he has some history in the NFC North. And get this, Smith himself said he wouldn't mind going to Detroit. "If I went to Detroit, I would like to, because I get to play Green Bay twice a year and the Vikings twice a year. So, yeah, that would be great." Can you imagine? Smith playing against his old teams twice a season, bringing that extra fire? It could be a big change for the Lions, especially with their playoff hopes still alive. As for the Browns, we have some decisions to make. Do we trade Smith now and get something in return, or wait until the deadline to create a bidding war? Either way, we're talking about a guy who has been solid this season with 16 tackles and 3 sacks in 6 games. He's 32 years old, but he's still producing, and that could make him a valuable asset for teams looking to bolster their pass rush. Smith's journey has been nothing short of remarkable. He started with the Ravens, made 2 Pro Bowls with the Packers, and had a solid year with the Vikings before arriving in Cleveland. He's been around and knows how to make an impact on any defense he joins. So, Browns fans, what do you think? Should we trade Zadarius Smith and see what we can get for him, or should we keep him and let him continue to do what he's been doing in Cleveland? And how would you feel if he ended up playing for the Lions or even the Packers again? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Before you go, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all things Browns. There's plenty more to come as we get closer to the trade deadline, so stay tuned. Let's go Browns!